In today's video, you will learn how to create multi-language website in PHP. First, I'm going to explain you about 3 different ways on how you can do it, and then I'm going to show you step by step how to write the code and use the easiest way. So if you want to learn about those 3 steps, stay with me. Hey, what's up guys? Senaid here from codingpassiveincome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they will do it on their own. So if that is something that interests you, consider subscribing. So before we start writing actually any code, I want that you actually know about 3 different ways that you can use. So before you do any coding, you need to decide which one you are going to use. So in this video we are going to use the first one. It's PHP Arrays. Basically that way is the simplest. You are going to create just different files containing each language that you have, and then we will just from associative array call the key, and then we will have it translated. Get text is the another version. It's quite harder. You will need to know how to set up your server, need to know how to create .po or .pot files, and it's quite harder if you are just starting out and never heard about it. But if you guys want to learn any of those 2, just comment below and then I will probably do a tutorial for you. And then the last option is database storage. It's the one that I usually use when I work on a large project, on a serious project, and when I'm going to bring another translation. And so for that reason, this one is pretty hard because it takes a lot of planning beforehand because of the database optimization, and we really need to decide how we are going to add all those new language, etc, etc. So right now I'm going to show you how to write the code for the first option. So now I'm here at my PHP store, and the first thing that we need to create is to actually create the basic HTML document. So first I'm going to create, of course, some basic design for our website. So let's see, my amazing website. Okay, and now the next thing that I want to do is to actually download the Bootstrap, because that is what I'm going to use. So I'll go to the getbootstrap.com, then download, and then I will just use compiled CSS and JS. Okay, so I'll save, go to the folder, extract, and delete archive, and that's it. And inside here in the CSS folder we have everything that you need. So here I'm going to include it. Okay, and then okay, so at the top I'm going to use the Nav Bar. So I will say classes is Nav Bar, and then let's see, we will expand on the small devices, we'll set dark background, and then also let's say that Nav Bar will be dark. Okay, and now we need to create a list. So okay, and then we will have some items like always. So Nav Bar item, and in this item we are going to have some links. So we'll say Nav Bar link, ref, let's say at the moment it's not important, and let me maybe just duplicate those. So first one, let's say, will be home, the next one, let's say, will be pricing, and then the last one will be contact. Okay, so let's see what do we have so far. Okay, so that's it. This is our Nav Bar. Maybe let's set one of those as an active, and that's it. And now down below I'm just going to create the container where we are going to have our website, and then the container, of course, we are going to have one row, and maybe let's justify content to the center, and then in here let's have one column. So I will say column MD, I don't know, 6, and maybe let's set offset to the 3. Okay, so here I will just say we'll have one title. Let's say it will be the same as this one here. Okay, and then I'm just going to have one paragraph. So let's say this is explanation about my amazing website. Okay, and let's see what do we have so far. Okay, it's looking good. Maybe let's set text to the center, and maybe let's move the container for maybe 100 pixels, and let's see. Okay, it looks good. And the last thing that I would love to do is to create a footer, and then in this footer we are just going to put different languages that are available. So we can write it here maybe. So I'll say class footer, and we need to create this class. Okay, and here I will just say like English and then Bosnian, which is another option. And then here I will just write the class footer. So maybe let's say it will be left at 0. Position, maybe let's say fixed. Let's say bottom I will set to 0. Text align to the center, maybe color to the white, and I think this should be fine. Okay, we don't think, maybe let's say background dark. Okay, it's here, but maybe let's set width to the 100%. Okay, and that's it. So this is our footer. Here we have two different languages that we can choose from. Here is some title and some explanation about website, and at the top we have menu. So pretty much those are 3 or 4 different elements that you are going to have on almost any website. And now let's see how we actually can translate this to the Bosnian language, because at the moment you can see that this is all in the English, and that one I will set to be the default. So let's see how to do it. Okay, so I'll just close this, and then let's say here at the top I'll write PHP code, and maybe let's say we will here just include the file config.php. So this config we will use on other page too. Okay, so I'll say new PHP file config. Okay, so first thing that we need to do here is to actually start a session. So I'll say session start. Okay, and then we will store one variable in the session, and that is chosen language. So we'll say if not isset session, let's say lang, we will create one. So we'll say session lang equal English. Okay, so this one, as you can see, is by default. If this doesn't exist, or maybe let's say or session lang is empty, but we'll make sure that it's never empty. Okay, and then here let's say else if isset get language, get language, maybe let's say, and not empty get language, then we are going to change and set different language. So it's okay. So if we set get language and not empty get language, so here we will check if get language equals English, we will set session lang to the English, else session language equal Bosnian, and that's it. And maybe the cool thing and smart thing will be to check here if session language different than get language. Okay, so first we are checking if it set get language. If it does, then we want to make sure that it's different than the one that is already stored in the session. And if it is different and it is not empty, then we are going to check which one it is, and then we will set it. So here we can say echo chosen language. So this is just to test this part so far, and that's it. Okay, so here it says choose language English, and then if we say here language equal Bosnian, as you can see now it will be changed. And if we remove this part and refresh, it's still Bosnian chosen. Okay, and now if we try to change it and maybe try to cheat, so maybe let's say Spanish, as you can see it is not going to change because it's not English. Sorry. Here we should say if get language equal Bosnian. Okay, just to make sure that it's not possible to cheat, and that's it. So that's it. We will set it to the English for now. Okay, and that's it. So now the next thing that we need to do is just to load this saved language. Okay, so we are going to create two different files. So or maybe first let's create the directory. So let's say languages. Okay, and in the language we will create PHP file like English.php, and then let's create Bosnian.php. Okay, so the array that we need to have is, let's say the name will be language. Okay, and in this array we are going to translate all the things on the index PHP. So here if we go from the top, first thing that we need to have is title. Okay, so I will cut this and paste here. So here, so say the key will be title, and then the translation will be more Bacinovic website. Okay, then the next thing that we need to do is to have home. So we'll say here home, and then on Bosnia it's Početna. After that we have pricing and contact. So here we will say pricing. Senaid. Okay, and then we have contact, so the word is same, contact. And then down below we have title again here, and then we have description, so just say like it's our description. Okay, and then we will say, so what do we say here? Oh yeah, oops, move the Bacinovic website. Web strands, and that's it. So now the same thing we need to do for the English. So here you can just do this, and then all we need to change is to do just some copy paste. So this is my amazing website, so home, pricing, contact, and then here we should paste my amazing website. Okay, and that's it. And now on the index.php we just need to call it. So here we will say echo language, and here we should say description, and we'll do the same thing for all other places. So this is title, and then here we have contact, pricing, home, and at the top title again. Okay, and of course in the config we just need to include the name of the file. So we'll say require once, and then we'll say language, then we will read from the session the language, and then of course the extension of the file, and this part should work. So let's make a test. So now if we refresh, English is working really good, and now if we change to the Bosnian, you can see now that there is a different language shown, and now it says portrait, not Senaid, contact, Moj Bacinovic website, and so on. And if we remove this part, as you can see, it's still Bosnian, and if we want to change it to the English, we will just do it like this, and here we have different. Okay, and the last thing that we need to translate is this footer. So let's say in here we will add 2 more keys to this array. So say language English will be English, and then language Bosnian will be Bosnian. And now in the Bosnian, okay, we need to change it. So this will be Engleski and then Bosanski. Okay, so let's try. With the English it stays the same, and with the Bosnian it doesn't change because here we didn't translate it. So we will say like this, language and language Bosnian. So let's try now. Yeah, it is working now. And of course we will need to include the links here. So just say like index PHP language Okay, so here, so maybe let me move it down so I can see. It will be Bosnia, and we just need to close those links, and that's it. So let's make a test. English Bosnian, if we choose Bosnian, it's translated and translated again. So pretty much that's it, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you do, please like it and share it to your friends, and of course if you have any questions, please ask in the comment below. Take care.